What's happening? This is Dave Rude from Tesla, and you're watching our Nights with Alice Cooper Ask Anything Chat. Thanks so much to Alice and United Stations for having us on to talk about the new record Shock we just put out on March 8th and to answer all your questions. Yeah, excited to get started. So let's see what's up first. Shiny from Los Angeles says, hi, would you like to do a new song or a cover with Alice Cooper? If a cover, what song would Tesla choose? Yeah, absolutely. Let's write something now. I got a bunch of riffs on my iPhone. We could do it over Skype, whatever it takes. Yeah, we'd definitely love to write a song with Alice, but cover might be easier, and there'd be so many to choose from. But I was thinking, you know, maybe to make it a little bit different and showcase Alice's amazing voice and Jeff's amazing voice and make it a little bit different would be Learning to Fly by Tom Petty. That'd be pretty cool. It's like totally a different treatment, but you know, with that sort of raspy sort of rock voice on it from Alice and JK, could be a pretty interesting treatment to a pretty great song, and you know, rock it up a little bit. So yeah, that'd be one. Let's see what's next. Lexi from Detroit says Grand Funk had a warning on their albums that said should be played at maximum volume. What warning would be on your music? That'd be tough. Maybe, you know, well, it'd probably be on your phone these days, right? But you know, that'd be it. Maybe like, you know, should be played in physical format. You know, we all listen to music on our phones and computers and everything. But I still believe, you know, it's just better to have it, even if it's a CD, especially if it's vinyl. That's awesome. It's going to sound better, and you know, you get the whole gatefold thing, and you really get to see the artwork up close. You get to read all the liner notes, even on a CD. You know, that's how I listened to music growing up. It's harder and harder to do these days because it's harder to even find a CD player now, right? Cars don't even come with them. It's kind of difficult, but I still buy CDs because I like to know who the assistant engineer was and all sorts of nerdy stuff, and read who the drummer thanked, you know, stuff that most people don't really care about. I care too much about these things. But you know, I think vinyl and CD and even now cassettes are oddly making a comeback. It's cool to me to have something physical in your hand, and I know a lot of our fans feel the same, you know, coming from a sort of more old school rock and roll background. It's fun to have something. You can get it signed, you can put it on your wall, all that stuff. But that could be a good little warning label on our records. Let's see. Okay, Bailey from Cincinnati asks, what was it like being part of the MTV Unplugged era? Obviously, I wasn't there for that, but I joined the band in 2006, so it's been a little over 13 years now. And we've done a lot of acoustic touring, and, you know, times where we do full acoustic shows, full acoustic tours. I think 2012 was like almost every show we did was all acoustic. You know, and even in the context of our live electric shows, there's a lot of acoustic built in. Sometimes we'll break it down and do a 3 or 4 song mini set on stools, all acoustic, on a smaller drum kit and the whole deal. And it's really fun. And I'm just glad that that sort of MTV Unplugged era happened. And you know, because I was a big Tesla fan back in those days, I definitely believe Tesla had a big hand in popularizing that. I mean, it was around before then, but before 5-Man Acoustical Jam, you know, and then like the Clapton one and a couple of those huge ones that really broke it wide open, there was not a very big spotlight on it. And I think Tesla was definitely one of the first and best at doing a full acoustic treatment to all their songs, and having it come across as really interesting and authentic and cool. You know, there's a lot of bands that are great bands, but the songs don't translate acoustically, at least not with some, you know, heavy tweaking. And that's not a bad thing, but, you know, if you can do the songs acoustic without the big Marshall stack fury and rock power that, you know, your accustomed to, you know, it's a testament to the songs being great and the band being great. So, you know, that the 5-Man Acoustical Jam is definitely one of my favorite records ever. And you know, I'm just as a fan, I'm just happy that did explode. And then so many other great acoustic records came from that after the fact, you know. So that's my unique perspective on that one. Stephanie from San Diego says, if you went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what other groups would you pick to go in with you? Well, if they let us pick, you know what? I'm pretty surprised Motley Crue isn't in there. And I'm a huge Motley fan, so definitely got to bring Motley in. Soundgarden, I don't think they're in yet. I mean, that's a no-brainer. They've got to be in there. Jane's Addiction is one of my favorite bands. They should definitely be in there. And then maybe Ozzy. Yeah, you know, there's a bevy of cool rock bands that need to be in there. So you could kind of roll the dice, take the pick, and you'll find some good ones. Let's see. Julia from Vancouver says, is it a shock that you have a new album after all these years? Do they get easier to record? One good pun. Two, yes, it is a shock. I've thought the last record we were going to make was every record we've made for the last few years. Like, I'm always surprised, like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to do a new record. And it's always great. And then we all get really excited and, you know, work really hard and are always, you know, stoked with the end result. But, you know, the record we put out before Shock was Simplicity, and that was in 2014. And that was a fun record, and we worked really hard on it, and it was, you know, well received, and we toured a bunch and all that. But, you know, I mean, kind of like what I was saying earlier, music is so different nowadays, and people just get on their phones. It's a lot more disposable. And so you put a lot of money and effort and just kind of heart into records, and you don't always get as much of a payback, not even just financially, but it's just, it's difficult to make it, you know, work sometimes, like to rationalize, well, why are we putting all this effort in, you know? But at the same time, we're artists and we're songwriters and we love to play, and it keeps it really interesting for us. We're very lucky that we've got such a diehard fan base that, you know, for the most part, man, our fans want to hear new stuff. And, you know, we only throw in a couple of new ones in a set because we have so many classic songs that, you know, we've got to play. And you don't really see like an exodus for the beer lines when we play the new song, which is really cool because, you know, a lot of bands, even really great bands, people don't want to hear the new stuff. And so, you know, I think we're lucky that we've got these diehards that really want to hear old album tracks that were never on the radio, stuff that more Fairweather fans don't even know about, and then are also really excited for the new song. So, you know, luckily, people have been really excited about this new record, Shock, and, you know, the singles we released, Shock, Tastes Like, and California Summer Song have all been released on streaming. Shock is on radio, and it's doing good. So, you know, I'm very pleasantly surprised and happy that we did make a new record, and yeah, hopefully people are digging it. But that's it. Thanks again to Alice and United Stations for having us on the Nights with Alice Cooper Ask Anything chat. It's great answering all your questions. Go check out the new album Shock, and we will see you out on the road soon. Take care.